Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing excellent yourself.
Good. My name is Jim Austin, and we are now taping the Austin File, which you can find on Jim Austin Online. It's a podcast that I do bi-weekly, and the podcast lets you know what's going on in North Texas. It also talks about real estate opportunities to invest. But I talk to people that are interesting, that I feel have something to say and are making a difference in life. And today I have a special guest on the line. His name is Chris Zeigler with Allstate Insurance. How are you doing, sir?
Jim, I'm doing extremely well. How about yourself?
Man, I had a good day. I had a friend take me to breakfast this morning at the Dixie House, and we chopped it up. We got the combo, and he's a good guy, Postel, Jeff Postel, one of the top drywallers in the world. And then this afternoon, I had lunch with a friend, came over, and we chopped it up. So it's been a good day. Got back here as quick as I could because I knew that we were going to have our podcast today to talk about life and things that might affect folks. So let's start out. Tell everybody who you are and what your business is, but we want to go even deeper and talk about how you got here today.
Okay.
Where you went to school and married, children, and just let me have it. Let me learn some more about my fraternity brother. We both belong to the great fraternity of Kappa Alpha Psi 1911. And I don't know about you, but joining Kappa was probably one of the top 5 things in my life that I decided to do, sir.
I can agree. But first, to start off, man, I should have been with you. We should have done this live, face to face, together, because I could have been eating good today. You had breakfast a lot. I had me a boiled egg for breakfast this morning.
Oh yeah, Jim Austin eats good every day, and just a real thing that's related to me is that my dad lived to be 92.
Oh wow!
And every morning he had a banana, green tea, exercise, and apple vinegar and oatmeal. So, and laughed a lot. So I got the laughter, I got the green tea, I got the banana. I get some exercise by walking up and down my steps at my job. So I'm doing a little bit better on that apple vinegar. I'm gonna be all right, sir. So
gotcha.
Sir. So it's good to have you. Let's talk about where you grew up, where you went to school, and when you became a proud member of Kappa Alpha Psi, sir. I'm doing all the talking. Let me move it over to you, sir.
Hey, I'm gonna let you do it because once I get to run out of my mouth, it's hard for me to stop. So you better get your words in edgewise.
That's why I did it. I got it on the front end. So,
but yeah, I am Chris Zeigler with the Zeigler Agency, Allstate. I'm located in Frisco, Texas, but I serve the whole state of Texas. If there's anything in the borders of Texas, I can take care of it, whether it's Brownsville, Amarillo, El Paso, Tyler, Buda, wherever it is, I can take care of you. But a little bit about me, though. I'm Chris Zeigler once again. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, where I was born and raised. Arkansas, love being there. We call it the Rock. That's where I was born and raised. And I'm married. I have a daughter. In fact, my daughter, we talked about, is getting ready to get married next month, September 5th, Labor Day weekend. So getting excited about that. That's my only baby, and she's getting ready to get married. As they say, jump the broom next month, and get married to a young man that's phenomenal. They've known each other since high school, and I used to think sometimes she's you think that's your buddy more than he's my boyfriend. So he's a good cat. So he's a good dude. So I really like him and love him like a son. But going back to where I went to school, I went to a couple of schools. I went to Grambling State University. And Philander Smith College. I'm a big proponent of, as you know, the HBCUs, as yourself as well. So, but that's why I play as Kappa Alpha Psi at Grambling State University, spring 86, and as they say, 5 club at Grambling State University. And like you said, that's probably one of the most intriguing things and one of the best things I've done. Probably say in my top 5 or 6 as well, because it's played an integral part in so many parts of my life. It's funny, like when I went to the military, I am a military veteran as well. And when I went to the military, I left school after my junior year to pursue the military. I'm not gonna lie to you, kind of got burned out on school. At that time, my priorities were a little bit screwed up. I said, I have a girl, I got school, and I got the fraternity. I said, something's kind of messing this equation up. So I said, let me drop some classes, which didn't sit well with my folks. So i.e. they said they weren't gonna pay any more tuition. And then I always wanted to go to the military. So I did that. However, it paid off for me being with the girl because I've been married over 30 years, been together 35. Because we started dating my sophomore year in college, my wife, Connie, and we've been together ever since. I actually started dating her before I pledged. So, she's been my rock. She's been my rock steady in everything I've done, from career to personal and everything. They say that saying that you're ride or die. She's my ride or die. She keeps me in check and just kind of guides me in the right direction. And she does a phenomenal job quite well in her role that she plays. And she's in corporate America and what she does as well. So, I was really excited about that. And one of the things too, like I said, you asked me how I got to this point. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but when I first got out of college, I actually started off in the food service industry with Pizza Hut. And I learned a lot of skill sets there. And I said, well, I'm going to be in the food service industry, worked for Bennigan's, went to Bennigan's like 2 or 3 years after that, got to their management program. And as people know, I said, if I'm going to do this, I want to be in full service restaurant. And it was an awesome experience as well. So I did that for several years. But then I got a while here and said, hey, I want to use my degree. And I actually worked for Allstate in the mid 90s as in the underwriting department. I was doing extremely well, but sitting at a desk all day. And they used to always tell me, they said, Chris, you're a salesperson in underwriting. So I did that for a few years. And then I went back to the food service industry where I was in the district manager's training program with Starbucks. And people like, man, they said, Chris, why did you work at Starbucks? You don't even drink coffee. I said, they pay me well, so that's why I'm there. So I said, they got other things as well. They got tea, frappuccinos, which is a coffee you drink. I said, hey, as long as you pay me well, I can figure out the rest. But then I actually got into pharmaceutical sales with Merck Pharmaceuticals, where I spent the majority of my career, about almost 16 years as a cardiovascular specialty, a cardiovascular specialty metabolic rep. And I did that for almost 16 years. It was very rewarding and I learned a lot there. But kind of going back to you said, Jim, how I got to this point. And people said, Chris, don't you wish you were an entrepreneur earlier? And I said, you know what? Not necessarily. Because I said, those experiences I had previously and all those ventures and jobs and different things I did previously got me to the point where I am now. Could I have been successful, doing what I'm doing now? Probably so. But the fact that I had all that experience and background that led me to this point made it a heck of a lot easier and helped me to, have a smooth ship when I was trying to do different things.
Well, you've done a lot, my brother. And, you got to get that corporate background. I think it helps you be a successful businessman. And I joined American Express in 77, well, actually 76, stayed 5 years, but I always had that earning to be an entrepreneur. So it was one of the best jobs in the world. My boss was in Atlanta. I got here in 77, and in 4 years, we went from 750 to 1.7 million in travel related businesses. So I was enjoying it, but I always felt if I could make American Express millions, why can't I make Jimmy Austin millions? So I resigned and I've been doing commercial real estate. And as you probably know, being an entrepreneur, there's nothing like getting up in the morning and you decide what your day is going to be. But you get up even earlier than me because you are in the gym pushing some iron and making some things happen. So you do that on a regular basis, don't you?
Yeah, 6 days a week, man. I get up normally between 4:30 and 5. I just naturally wake up around that time. I say a prayer and meditate a little bit. And then I get to it, I do exercise, do core exercises and things like that. I do cardiovascular type stuff like running or biking, and then after that I swim. So I do that probably about an hour and a half worth of workout. Come home, when I come home, take my shower, and then as you know, we be talking early in the morning a lot of times, like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, because you get up early like I do. I said as people say, we get up before the chickens probably.
Right.
They're doing that thing. So. And that's one thing I want to encourage people to do too, because when you exercise, people say you have to give themselves up to exercise. For me, it's just like second nature. If I don't exercise, I don't feel right. It's like, if for some reason my wife says, you just, because those endorphins kick in and you just kind of get energized. So I always want to encourage people, to exercise, because man, it's just that blood flowing and it just kind of gets you going for the day.
Well, how old are you now, Chris?
The double nickel this year, in June, I turned 55.
Okay. I know we talked earlier in the week, and you were just bragging on your wife, and as an entrepreneur, in order part of the pieces of being successful, you got to marry above your pay grade. And I always tell my friends, my name is not Where's Gloria or How's Gloria? My name is Jim Austin. So, you were just telling me about your wife and how good she is in organizing and doing things. So I'm excited for you, and congratulations on getting your baby married to someone, a stellar guy. So that's powerful there.
In fact, my wife and I, we actually had a Salon Suites for 10 years. That's probably the first biggest entrepreneurial event that we did, was doing that back in 2007. So we had it from 2007 until 2017. We saw that we kind of ran its course. We were doing extremely well and everything. And we just thought it was time to, pursue some other options and everything. In fact, I even got started with the Salon Suites. When I was in pharmaceutical sales, they were talking about layoffs. And so I told my wife, I said, we need to quit talking about it and be about it, because we can always talk about trying to find something that we could do that would be financially conducive, as well as something that, can help us out in other ways as well, from tax purposes and everything. And, we looked at the different entities that were out there, like, massage MBs, and, looked at restaurant type stuff. But, when you franchise, a lot of times you still don't have that control and ownership that you want to make all the decisions that you want to make on a day-to-day basis. So we actually looked at some of those chains that they had as well, for, like Salon Suites. And we kind of looked at the models they had, and we were like, you know what? We can just do this on our own. And that's what we ended up doing it. In fact, she actually took off a couple of years to kind of get it up and running and everything. I was up there every day as well. It's kind of like wearing two hats. So, one of us had to make a sacrifice from that standpoint. She did that. But, when we first started out, when you're an entrepreneur, I was the janitor, the handyman, you name it, I was doing everything. But once we got it up and running, it was kind of smooth sailing. We were able to bring other people in to take care of those things. But being an entrepreneur, one of the key things is you have to have resilience. You have to have intestinal fortitude and things like that, because, some people, like, how it is. People think, oh, you own your business, you don't have to do a whole bunch. But when you own your own business, you probably work harder than you did when you were in corporate America. However, what I tell people, though, it feels a hell of a lot better because it's yours. It's like you said, you're making millions of dollars for, somebody else's company or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. I tell people all the time, take advantage of your opportunities in corporate America and learn that skill set and parlay that into, something else when you get that opportunity. So that's very key from that standpoint.
And there's nothing wrong with the corporate life, but I think for me, in corporate life, you got to move from city to city to city to grow your worth and to be servant to the corporations. And people have done that, and there's great corporate guys that have done it. But for me, I'd fallen in love with Fort Worth and want to stay here. And I would have never met you, brother, if I went on and grew up the ladder with American Express. And not that I couldn't, but I always wanted to earn my own. And as an entrepreneur, what are some of the things that most reward you as an entrepreneur? And then what would you recommend to somebody, a young person coming up, and what they should do to strive to either be an entrepreneur or live a quality of life?
I'm back up, like you just said a few minutes ago, like you said, your wife, Laura, I have Connie, my wife. if you're married, you got to have the full support of your spouse. If you don't have the full support of your spouse and you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you probably won't be. I'm not saying you won't be successful, but it's going to be a hard road to toe. So you got to make sure that your spouse is on board and it shares that vision with you. You know, in fact, she was one of the main ones that kind of has always kind of pushed me to go in these certain directions. Then I just took it from there, you know, from that standpoint. Two, you know, you want to get people around you who are smarter than you. A lot of people want to be the smartest person in the room, and sometimes they think they're the smartest person in the room and they're not. So you have to have a strong team around you. Like I got my office manager right here in front of me. She's listening to me. Make sure she don't give me the stank eye over there. So I say some good things. But now she's rock solid. Sharice, she does a phenomenal job, you know, here. And just making sure that you have to have people around you who support your vision. In fact, sometimes I say, I feel like I'll be getting bossed around in my own place. But that's what kind of people you want around you who have a true, earnest love for what you're trying to do and gonna have your back. And that's what you have to have when you trying to start a business or even, you know, maintain a business. If you don't have the people like that around you, you will not be successful. And the key, like I said, once again, to whether it was in corporate America to now, you always want to align yourself with people who share the business like yourself. You know, I have conversations all the time about different things. I know you have a lot of wisdom about, you know, whether it be like real estate. You know, although I'm in insurance, what do people need in real estate? They need insurance, whether it be commercial, whether it be homeowners insurance. So, you know, people are like, well, Chris, why are you in all these different organizations and network with all these mortgage companies and these realtors and these realtor organizations? Well, if somebody has a house, if somebody has commercial real estate, they have to have insurance. And a lot of these organizations that I'm in, like the National Association for Real Estate Brokers, you know, it's a predominantly, you know, African-American organization. And like I tell people, when you join these organizations, some people join organizations thinking, well, okay, I'm trying to get some business out of it. That's your main reason for joining these organizations. You're in it for the wrong reason in the first place, because you want to be a part of an organization that's trying to help other people grow and do philanthropic things too. Like you said, like we talked about in the community, like I do the coat drive, I do food drives. I'm very big on that because a lot of people think, don't get me wrong, it's good to do Christmas and Thanksgiving, but people are hurting and need help all year round. So I do a coat drive in January. And usually around the May time frame, I do personal hygiene products, non-perishable food products, and cleaning supplies. And this year, you know, we didn't get off to a start like, you know, with the COVID and everything like that. We couldn't really get it kicked off like we wanted to. So we just had a small impact, but any impact is an impact with, you know, the back to school drive from that standpoint. But then once again, when in October 30th, I'm going to have another event. We're going to be collecting non-perishable food items, the clothing, as well as, you know, cleaning products and personal hygiene products. Because like I said, once again, people are hurting all year round. Don't get me wrong. Once again, do your Thanksgiving and Christmas, but think about the other parts of the year as well. Also,
let everybody know how they could be in touch with you. Give them your website, you know, your phone number, your email. But, you know, somebody in the listening audience might need some insurance. And as you said, you're doing all of Texas and you're my guy, you know, Chris Zeigler, you know, Allstate, my man.
Well, you know, that's one thing, I guess, talking about that, I got to talk about so many other things, though, so let people know what I do as well. Come from an insurance standpoint, we're a full service insurance company from the standpoint with the Zeigler agency. You know, of course, you know, we do home, auto, renter's insurance, your toys like your boats, your motorcycles and things like that. But we do commercial and business insurance. We do life insurance. We do have financial products as well that we can, you know, can help out with, you know, as far as 401ks and things of that nature. And also, you know, we have supplemental insurance. We have a product that competes with the duck. So everybody knows what the duck is out there. And we have a phenomenal product for that as well. So, I mean, I have my hands in a little bit of everything because, like I said, a lot of times I have customers that have the personalized stuff like their home and their auto, their business stuff, you know, the commercial stuff. And like I said, and I want to talk about life insurance just real quick. It's so important because next month in September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. And like I tell people, you know, you see people doing all these GoFundMe's and all these kind of things like that. You know, just give me a call. And my number is 214-870-4269. That's actually my cell phone number. And my office number is 469-535-2500. So you can catch me on my office phone or my cell phone. A lot of agents don't give their cell phones out, but I'll make sure that people have a way to get in contact with me no matter what. But Jim, is just kind of heartbreaking a lot of times to see when you do have somebody's home, you have their cars, you have their business insurance, their boats and everything. I had a situation last year where one of my customers passed. I'm 55, at that time I was 54, and he was in his early 40s, it was the picture of health, but he passed. And the first thing that people do when they call you and ask, they say, hey, they said, because I know we got everything with you, did we ever get that life insurance? And people always put that on the back burner. And I said, it's very important to do it. And a lot of times, depending on what you get, we can talk about the different life insurance products that we have, but give me a call so we can explain it, because life insurance can be inexpensive. Some people say it is expensive. Depends on what kind of policy you're getting, but you let me explain all the different parameters of what's going on in your particular situation, and I can get the right product for that person so that I have the right thing. Because, insurance is a legacy that can be left for somebody. And then once again, one of the business ventures I had years ago, I use my life insurance policy. It's for the living too, as well. I'm not talking about somebody who's living after somebody dies, but it's for the living for somebody who's alive right now, where I actually pulled money out of one of my life insurance policies for a business venture, so there's so many different things that you can do when it comes to life insurance. And I don't want to have the opportunity for somebody to talk to me, or just talk to anybody. If it's not me, to talk to somebody that you feel comfortable with, so that they can make sure they're taken care of and going in the right direction.
See, audience, you hear it right here. Chris said, you don't have to talk to him, but talk to somebody and get that insurance in line. Because it's so important. It's a vehicle that you can save with. I've had to go back in tough times and borrow on my life insurance policy. I have them on my kids, but do it. Take care of your insurance. Call Chris. What's that number again, Chris?
It's a 214-870-4269. That's my cell phone. Or you can reach me at my office at 469-535-2500.
Chris, I've enjoyed talking to you. I knew it was going to be enjoyable because, we talk all the time and we reach out to each other, and you've been a sponsor on Jim Austin Online. Yeah. So it's time for you to come back, brother, and be a sponsor on Jim Austin Online. And we're going to put this up, but we talk to interesting people. We bring it together, we network, and we talk about the importance of family, the importance of working hard, and the importance of finding something that you like to do, and for sure. But I've enjoyed sharing with you, my brother, and we're going to cut it off here now, and we're going to edit it, post it up, and I'm going to be in touch with you. So this is Jim Austin Online, the Austin File. You can catch it by going onto my website and just hitting podcasts and learn more about what Chris does and share this. So I want to thank you a lot, and I look forward to seeing you soon.